Here's what nobody tells you about monk mode. The isolation isn't the point, and that's why most people fail. They think monk mode means locking yourself in a room, delete everything, talk to nobody. Pure isolation for 30 days. Reset your brain through suffering, and it lasts about 4 days. Because humans aren't built for complete isolation. We break, we give up, we spiral. But here's what Machiavelli figured out 500 years ago. Not about monk mode specifically, but about strategic withdrawal from chaos. It's not about removing yourself from the world. It's about controlling what the world puts into your mind. That's the one monk mode rule that actually works. Not isolation. Input control. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you what this rule is, why traditional monk mode fails without it, and exactly how to apply it. Because Machiavelli spent years in forced isolation. And he didn't waste away. He produced the works that lasted 5 centuries, not through suffering, through strategic control of inputs. Let me show you what that means. Florence, 1513. Machiavelli is exiled, banned from the city, living in a small villa, cut off from political life. And here's what's interesting. He doesn't treat this like spiritual isolation. He doesn't sit in silence, meditating on purity. He does something completely different. He controls his inputs obsessively. Morning. He walks his property, talks to local workers, observes nature, manages his land. That's his input. Physical reality. Direct observation. Afternoon. He reads, but not randomly. Classical texts, history, philosophy, strategic works, carefully chosen input that serves his thinking. Evening. He writes letters to friends still in politics, exchanges ideas, debates, gets information from the outside world, filtered input, chosen input. Night. He writes The Prince, discourses, works that required deep focus, created in controlled environment with carefully managed inputs. See what he's doing? He's not isolated. He's input controlled. He's not removing himself from information. He's curating what information reaches him. And that curation? That's what enabled the focus. And that's the one monk mode rule. It's not about isolation. It's about input control. Here's why this matters in 2025. Traditional monk mode says, delete everything. No phone, no internet, no people, complete withdrawal. And you fail. Because you're not controlling inputs. You're just removing all of them. And humans need inputs, stimulation, information, connection. So you last 3 days, then binge everything you removed, because total input removal isn't sustainable. But here's the Machiavellian approach. Don't remove inputs, control them. Your problem isn't that you have inputs. Your problem is that your inputs are chaotic, unfiltered, reactive. Whatever pops up on your phone, that's what gets into your mind. TikTok algorithm deciding what you see. Instagram controlling your attention. Twitter feed determining what you think about. You're not choosing inputs. Algorithms are choosing for you. And that's why you can't focus. Not because you have too many inputs, but because you have no control over which inputs reach you. Machiavelli's rule: control your inputs, and you control your focus. Let me break this down with a concrete example. You wake up. First thing you do, check your phone. Notifications. 30 things demanding your attention. News, messages, social media, email, whatever showed up overnight. You didn't choose any of those inputs. They chose you. And now your mind is scattered across 30 different threads before you've even gotten out of bed. That's chaotic input. That's why you can't focus. Now, Machiavellian monk mode approach. You wake up. Phone stays off for the first 2 hours. Not forever. 2 hours. During those 2 hours, your inputs are coffee, journal, book. You chose yesterday, morning walk. Chosen inputs, controlled, not reactive. After 2 hours, you turn on your phone, but you don't check everything. You check one thing. Email for 15 minutes, then phone off. That's input control. You're not removing all inputs. You're choosing which inputs reach you and when. See the difference? Traditional monk mode. No phone ever. Total isolation. Unsustainable. Machiavellian monk mode. Phone at specific times. Chosen inputs only. Sustainable. Real talk. I tried traditional monk mode multiple times. No phone, no internet. Complete isolation. Failed every time. Because I'd go crazy with no information, no stimulation, no connection. What worked? Input control. Morning. No phone until 9 a.m. Inputs controlled. Coffee, writing, walk. Midday. Phone on. But only check 3 things. Email, messages from specific people. Calendar. Everything else blocked. Controlled inputs. Afternoon, deep work. Phone off. Inputs. Whatever I'm creating. Music I chose, nothing reactive. Evening. Phone on. Social if I choose. But time limited. 30 minutes. That's it. That's input control. And it's sustainable. Because I'm not removing all inputs. I'm choosing which inputs reach me and when. Here's the principle Machiavelli proved. Your focus isn't destroyed by having inputs. It's destroyed by having chaotic, algorithm-controlled, reactive inputs. Control your inputs, and focus returns. Not through suffering, through strategy. And here's what makes this the one rule that actually works. It scales. You can maintain input control indefinitely, because you're not fighting human nature. You're working with it strategically. You need inputs. Your brain requires stimulation, information, connection. That's not weakness. That's biology. But you can choose which inputs, when, how much. That's the Machiavellian monk mode rule. Not remove all inputs and suffer through isolation. But control which inputs reach you, and focus becomes natural. Machiavelli, in exile, produced more valuable work than most people produce in entire lifetimes. Not because he removed himself from the world, but because he controlled what the world put into his mind. Carefully chosen reading, strategic correspondence, direct observation, focused writing time with zero chaotic input. That's monk mode that works. Input control, not input removal. Now let me show you how to apply this in modern life where chaotic inputs are everywhere. So how do you actually control inputs in 2025 when everything is designed to control your attention? Let me show you in 2 contexts where chaotic inputs destroy focus most. Context 1. Morning routine. This is where most people lose before the day even starts. Morning inputs determine the rest of your day. Here's what chaotic morning inputs look like. Alarm goes off. You grab your phone to turn it off, and while you're holding it, you check. Notifications. 37 new things. You start scrolling. Twitter. Someone's mad about something. Instagram. Everyone's on vacation except you. Email. Work emergency that isn't actually emergency. And now, before you're even out of bed, your mind is scattered across 37 different inputs you didn't choose. Your day is reactive before it started. That's why you can't focus. Not because you're undisciplined, because your inputs are chaotic from minute 1. Here's Machiavellian input control for mornings. 1. Alarm isn't on your phone. Get a real alarm clock, $15. Removes the "I need my phone to wake up" excuse. 2. Phone stays off until you've controlled your first inputs. That's non-negotiable. 2 hours minimum. 3. Choose your morning inputs deliberately. What goes into your mind first? For me, coffee, 10 minutes journaling, 30 minutes reading something I chose days ago, 20-minute walk. Those are my chosen inputs. Nothing reactive, nothing algorithm-controlled. Just inputs I selected because they serve my focus. And here's what happens. By the time I turn on my phone at 9 a.m., I've already had 2 hours of focused inputs. My mind isn't scattered, it's directed. So when I do check phone, I'm not desperate for stimulation. I'm just checking specific things briefly. Then back to controlled inputs. That's the application. Morning input control determines daily focus. Real talk. This one change, phone off until 9 a.m., did more for my focus than any productivity system I've ever tried. Because it's not about productivity, it's about input control. Context 2. Work environment. The second context is your work environment. This is where chaotic inputs destroy deep work. Here's what most people's work environment looks like. Laptop open, 20 tabs, email in one, Slack in another, social media in background, phone on desk, notifications on, every app demanding attention. And you're trying to focus on actual work, while 40 different inputs are fighting for your attention every 3 minutes. That's not a focus problem. That's an input control problem. Machiavellian approach. Design your environment so only chosen inputs can reach you during work time. 1. When you're doing deep work, one window open. That's it. Not minimized. Closed. The thing you're working on gets the entire screen. 2. Phone face down. Better. Phone in another room. Not on silent. Gone. Mom. If it's visible, it's an input source, even when it's not buzzing. 3. Notifications off on everything. Do not disturb. Off. Permanently. If someone needs you urgently, they'll call. They won't. But that's the excuse you tell yourself. 4. If you need internet for work, use website blockers. Freedom. Cold turkey. Whatever. Block everything except the specific sites you need for this task. That's input control in work environment. You're not removing internet. You're controlling which inputs can reach you while you're working. And here's what happens. Your focus doesn't require willpower, because there are no chaotic inputs demanding attention. Just the chosen input. Your work. I used to think I had focus problems. Couldn't work for more than 20 minutes without getting distracted. But I didn't have focus problems. I had input control problems. My environment had 40 input sources competing for attention. Phone, email, Slack, Twitter, news. Every single one pulling at my focus. When I applied Machiavellian input control, one window open, phone gone, blockers on everything else. Focus came naturally. Not because I got more disciplined, because there was nothing to be distracted by. The chaotic inputs were blocked. Only chosen input remained. My work. That's the application. Control inputs in your environment, and focus becomes effortless. Machiavelli's rule. You don't need more willpower. You need better input control. Morning routine. Control first inputs of the day. Work environment. Remove chaotic inputs during focus time. That's monk mode that actually works. Not through isolation, through strategic input control. So what actually changes when you apply this one monk mode rule? When you control inputs instead of removing them, 3 things happen, and they're immediate. First, your focus stops requiring willpower, because focus isn't a willpower issue when inputs are controlled. You're not fighting distractions. There are no distractions, just chosen inputs. And chosen inputs don't fragment attention. They direct it. I used to think I had weak willpower, couldn't resist checking phone, couldn't stay focused, constantly distracted. But it wasn't willpower, it was input chaos. My environment had 50 input sources demanding attention. Of course I couldn't focus. Nobody could. When I controlled inputs, phone gone during work, one window open, notifications permanently off. Focus came naturally. Not because my willpower increased, because chaotic inputs decreased. Second, monk mode becomes sustainable. Because you're not suffering through isolation. You're just choosing your inputs. Traditional monk mode, day 4, you're going insane. No stimulation, no information, no connection. You break. Machiavellian monk mode, you're getting inputs, just controlled ones. Reading you chose, writing you're creating, conversations you initiated. Your brain has stimulation, just directed stimulation. That's sustainable. I've maintained input control for months because it's not deprivation, it's strategy. Third, you produce more. Not because you're working more hours, because your work hours aren't fragmented by chaotic inputs. Machiavellian exile wrote works that lasted 500 years. Not because he worked crazy hours, because his inputs were controlled. Reading, writing, strategic correspondence. No chaos. Your 2 hours of input-controlled work will produce more than 8 hours of chaotic input work, because those 2 hours are actually focused, not fragmented across 40 different inputs. That's what changes. Focus becomes natural. Monk mode becomes sustainable. Production increases dramatically, not through isolation, through input control. Machiavelli proved it. I've experienced it, and you can verify it yourself. Control your inputs, and everything else follows. That's the one monk mode rule that actually works. Here's the one monk mode rule. It's not about isolation, it's about input control. Control what reaches your mind, and focus becomes natural. Leave inputs chaotic, and no amount of willpower will help you focus. So here's what you do. Today, right now. Pick one time block tomorrow. 2 hours. Could be morning, could be afternoon. Doesn't matter when. During those 2 hours, control your inputs completely. Phone off. Not silent. Off. Or in another room if you can't turn it off. One task only. One window open. Everything else closed. No notifications. No checking. Just for a second. No reactive inputs whatsoever. Just chosen input. The work you decided to do. That's it. 2 hours. Controlled inputs only. And watch what happens. You'll get more done in those 2 hours than you usually get done in 8. Not because you worked harder, because your inputs were controlled. That's the Machiavellian monk mode rule. Not isolation. Input control. Machiavelli used it in exile, produced masterworks. You can use it in modern life. Produce focused work. Try it. 2 hours. Tomorrow. Controlled inputs only. And see for yourself. The one monk mode rule that actually works isn't about removing yourself from the world. It's about controlling what the world puts into your mind. Apply it, and focus returns.